Hello everyone, how's it going? So this is GenmaTheSamurai here with a bit of an announcement. Probably not one that I think a lot of you guys really want to hear from me, but I'm just taking the time to kind of do a real talk. I'm doing it in my review presentation, just because I think it would be probably more fitting to do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and say that real-life circumstances have made things a little bit difficult. As you know, I recently graduated, but I have been struggling mentally and, literally in terms of finding jobs and stuff recently, and due to circumstances and other things that have been a very long time coming, I think a lot of projects, big projects, specifically on YouTube, are probably going to be put on hold for a while, and in case you can't guess, that means my Cold Steel 3 video. Now, that said, I have already done some work, actually quite a bit of work on this, particularly in the script department, but I think given things that I have been putting off for a very long time, it's probably for the best that I don't do it right away. In fact, the time in which I will be doing it, I'm not sure I'm even able to give you guys a guess. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back up here real quick. For those of you who don't know, I've been wanting to get into game development for quite a while. In fact, you guys probably saw the video that got uploaded recently of a game jam thing I did with a few friends, and I've been doing YouTube as a big passion project thing even before I started doing my Trails reviews, and I think it has definitely made it hard for me to branch into other things that, are a bit more original in that regard. You know what I mean. And I think, given that I'm gonna have to deal with potentially moving in the future or other things, just trying to actually build up a proper income and also pursue those kinds of activities. As difficult as it is, I'm not quite sure I'm going to be able to dedicate nearly as much time as I originally did for these videos. Now, with that said, this doesn't mean that the video will never happen. I just have no idea when, and it will probably be in a period of significant downtime. Some of this is burnout. I'm just going to be completely honest. While working on the script and trying to actually dissect the plot of Cold Steel 3, for example, it was very overwhelming. And I think just having to do all these videos back to back, it's been really rough. And I was even considering, just for the record, I was considering taking a break and calling it a Season 1 after I did my Cold Steel 4 video, just to be like, hey, I did the whole, Phantasmal Blaze arc, as we can call it, right? And I was like, that'd be a good place, and I have review streams of everything after that you guys could view for at least my reactions. But as things currently stand, the burnout is a lot, and I am keeping in mind the fact that Cold Steel 2 video took pretty much 2 full months of editing to do, which is an insane amount of time. I think anyone I know that does YouTube videos is probably internally screaming at the prospect of that. So with all of that in mind, I just don't know about doing that. I could scale it down, but I feel like I'm too particular about quality to realistically pull that off. So with that said, I don't really know what will happen in the future as far as the reviews are concerned, just because I really do want to start pursuing some of the other stuff. I've spent a lot of years doing this, and I think this is a barrier that I'm going to have to get over, as it were. And it sucks, because a lot of you found me through these videos, and you clearly like them a lot. I really am proud genuinely proud of a lot of what I've created. A few things that are like mistakes here or there, but generally speaking, for a channel of my size to create the videos that I have and to like showcase my love of trails and all of that stuff, it's kind of hard in a lot of ways for me to do that to you guys as well, because a lot of you were genuinely hyped. And I hope whenever the video does come out, you guys will probably just be on YouTube someday, and you'll just see any recommended, like, oh my gosh, a Cold Steel 3 video. Is that Genma? Like, that'll probably be the outcome. But for the time being, yeah. And if any of you guys are, like, subscribed to my Patreon or whatever, I also do really want to stress this. I'm not quite sure. I can take the time to try and retool it, but I've always been bad at managing that site. And anytime I've tried to run it, I've done it to try and help the channel and get some additional income because, again, of the amount of time I spend editing and dealing with college. But I've always been bad at running it, and if you guys are wanting any sort of perks and you guys just want to unsub from it, totally understandable. Now, that said, I'm not completely abandoning everything I'm doing online. So, the first big thing, streams. Those will still be happening. For any new Trails games that come out, I'm gonna probably stream them. Then it'll depend on how I feel after a certain point. Like, let's say the Sky remakes, you know, I'm just kind of like, yeah, you guys know how this goes, and you know my thoughts on the originals to an extent at least. We'll see. But so far I'm enjoying the Sky remix. FC, I'm planning to continue that in like a few weeks. So you'll still get streams of this, like the Trails games. But I am also going to be probably just going back to being a fan for a while and doing stuff like fan art. And if you guys are interested in art, you guys can support me over on VGen. I would really appreciate that in particular if you are a big fan of my artwork and you just want to support me in that regard. I also just wanted to interject really quick. I recently retooled my website to include stuff like my game development works, but I also included a tab for all of my artwork, so you guys can go ahead and check that out if you want to see all of my art and just want to find out if you want to support me on VGen. So there you go. This is a really tough announcement, mostly the review thing, but I really do want to, like... This is just an awkward video. And I've also talked to some friends that I think they're gonna watch this and be a little confused about, like, where this came from. Like, I was talking about, like, one of my main struggles recently was just kind of getting over the hurdle of the Cold Steel 3 script. I'll just say I've had a few reality check moments recently. And this is just the conclusion I've landed on. And again, like, there's one particular game I want to make, but I have a few other things that I need to make first to even build up to and be able to do that. And also getting a job, like a proper job, and dedicating time to that, I think is also going to be very important. And I think also since starting YouTube, I haven't really had much of just a real life kind of life going on, and because of that, I think I also just kind of need time to myself. For those of you who don't know, I also have just jumped ship from Twitter. That's a whole other story. That's largely unrelated to this. It just happens to be around the same time. But with all of that said, yeah, I just need self-improvement and to be able to focus on actually doing game dev things. And who knows, maybe some of the fun later will be like, hey, here's a game dev guy and he's doing reviews of these niche RPGs. Who's to say? But I do still want to work on the Cold Steel 3 and 4 script. In fact, probably on my own time, I'll probably like mess with them here or there. But when they'll be made, I really cannot say. I may not even be in this house when I make those videos. So, who's to say? However, I do want to thank you all so much for all of the support for the last 3 years, like since I made the Trails in the Sky video, and even people who have been around for way longer. I still get comments from people that were back in my Let's Play days, and I appreciate you so much for sticking around for, like, in that regard, for sticking around for like 10 years. I've been at this for a long time. I think I started doing Let's Plays around 2014. So it's been a wild ride, and here I am with the most subs I've ever had. In YouTube terms, it's like nothing. But I'm proud of what I've created. I'm proud of you guys for also being a really good community in general. Like, considering some of the games I've been talking about, it could be a lot more, like you guys have been super respectful. I've seen corners of Trails that is not that in the online space. And I just want to thank you guys. Seriously. I'm being redundant. I know. This is a classic Genma vlog. Whenever I'm off the cuff talking. But I'm gonna be redundant this time for the sake of just reinforcing that I really, really, really appreciate all of you. I'm not doing any take twos on this. This is genuinely from the heart. I didn't even script this. I really do appreciate all of you. You're the best. And again, this is not fully goodbye. I am still going to be streaming whatever Trails games. We get to hang out and just chat. But from here on out, I think I'm just going to be joining you guys as a fan again. That just so happens to be pursuing game dev. Or indie game dev. As a thing that I want to do. And also art. So, seriously, I cannot thank you enough. You're the best. Take care, everyone. And hey, whenever Season 2, as it were, resumes, which will probably be after I finish at least a few game projects, I hope to see you there, and hope you enjoy it. Maybe it'll have more insane production value, because maybe I'll have money. Who knows? But, yeah. Anyway, that is all. Thank you so much, and see you at Different Skies. Bye.